A lot of people are upset about JC Jane becoming the new NXT Women's Champion. And I even see a couple of people upset about Ethan Page ego beating Ricky Saints. But I'm here to tell you that NXT is cooking. Both of those decisions were the best decisions. Imagine that I'm a streamer and I'm on Twitch and I have a soundboard. Dum dum. I'll just push the button. But that was those both of those decisions were the best decisions. And both of those decisions let me know that NXT absolutely knows what they're doing, which I've been known this. Lets me know that NXT knows their superstars and also lets me know that NXT knows what's best for the fans moving forward. Me? I go by the name of Black Couch Booking. If you're new to the channel, please like, comment, subscribe. Promise you will not be disappointed. If you're old to the channel, Couch Crew, welcome back. Join my Discord. Follow me on Instagram at Real Black Couch Booking. And let's talk about some wrestling. Let's get it, man. Let's go. So, first things first, man. Shout out to JC Jane. Shout out to JC Jane. If you're thinking about this in terms of school, people like JC Jane, Trick Williams, or you could consider people like that super duper seniors. Like they're like if this is high school, they're super seniors that stayed back twice. They were classified because so they could play some sports and be 19 on the basketball team. Like that. That's how it feels. They've been around in NXT for so long that they basically been through like almost four eras of NXT. Like right before 2.0, 2.0, back to gold and black, silver and black, like literally four eras of NXT. Now I might be exaggerating, but I might put some spice on it. But they've been around for a long time, bro. Both of them, especially they at minimum have been there since the 2.0 era, if you remember. So for someone like a JC Jane, who was considered the Marty Jannetty of the Toxic Attraction with her and Gigi Dolan, and for her to be the NXT Women's Champion, it's a great thing. And I always love when people like that get rewarded for their hard work because Fallon Henley came out of nowhere and became the Mandy Rose of Fatal Influence, which is basically Toxic Attraction 2.0. And then JC Jane didn't even become the leader of the group. That's nasty. But for her to become the NXT Women's Champion out of that group, even though I do believe she's a transitional champion, I will say that I'm not going to sit up in here and act like she's going to be the longest reigning, had the most dominant defenses, but she deserves all that credit for her hard work, bruh. After that match in the backstage locker room, I hope they threw her a party and gave her a cake or something because, bro, I thought she was cooked. I'm not gonna lie. And JC Jane is pretty good. And if I'm not mistaken, I'm sorry I gotta do this. This is very unprofessional of me, but I gotta make sure. But I'm pretty sure where is JC Jane from? Place of birth, Tampa, Florida. Really? I thought she was from New Jersey. Well, never mind. But she's still straight in my book. Shout out to JC Jane, man. You real talk, bro. I'm really happy for her. But I'm more happy because NXT answered a huge issue that I had a problem with not too long ago. If you guys are old to the channel, you see that I made a video saying that I'm not upset. I wasn't upset. I wasn't mad, but having like the outsiders, whether they're from AEW, whether they're from, AAA, whether they're from New Japan, New Lucha Underground, or just an independent wrestler come into NXT and take over the titles that, these younger, not even about the age, that these stars who have basically been there for the longest might not be homegrown. Maybe they came from TNA, but been there from the longest. You know what I'm saying? They don't have the opportunity to get is kind of nasty to me. And I love Stephanie Valkyrie. That's my favorite NXT women's wrestler, even though she's probably going to Raw, if I'm not mistaken. I do think that would be the best move. You know what I'm saying? She had a good run. It was a 70 something day run, but it was still great because it felt like it was longer. I was like, she only had the belt for 70 days. I thought she had the belt for like 160 days or something because it felt long because she defended it more often than not. And she was wrestling multiple times a week. Sometimes, not multiple times a week, but multiple times a month. So she was definitely a fighting champion. But this is great. Now, people like a Lola Vice. a Jada Parker, a Ren Sinclair, maybe a Zarya, maybe Soruka gets three belts. Maybe she's the speed champion, the North American champion, and the NXT Women's Champion. Maybe a Carmen Petrovic, Tatum Paxley. The possibilities are endless. Maybe. The new LFG winner can follow in Jasper Troy's footsteps and make an impact on the main roster and win the championship in her debut. Maybe we get a Santino Marella. Well, I'm not compared to Santino Marella, but maybe we get a Carlito type of thing where she wins a championship on her first match. Now we can book the homegrown talent. We can book the talent that's super seniors, even after JC Jane, who, if they're not a super senior, we got a couple of juniors in the building that could come win the championship now. But Jada Parker not just in a championship match has stand and deliver. Has Lola Vice not been on a streak and been had so much momentum and people were saying was basically the breakout star of the year? Is it now not time for Lola Vice to get her hands on that championship? Maybe they could throw us for a whole curveball and the implosion of Fatal Influence leads to JC Jane beating Fallon Hilly, but maybe Jasmine steps up and beat JC Jane. Kalani Jordan is not going to be a two-time NXT Women's North American champion. Maybe it's time for her to get the belt. And maybe, just maybe, Lash Legend can finally get the championship. Do y'all not see that? How that's possible now more so than ever? Because if Jordan Grace held the belt, if Stephanie Varker still held the belt, if Julia still held the belt, none of that would be a possibility now. Shawn Michaels, whoever you want to give credit to, made the correct decision because now our booking is flexible. Anybody on the list that could beat JC Jane, and anybody who are listed can lose to someone else. Now we can pass the belts. Now we can have more champions. Now we can build up those stars. You see what Stephanie Valkyrie did with the belt in 70 days. She's ready for the main roster. She will get the reception. She's gonna be the Penta of the women's division. People are gonna love her. She got the aura. She got the entrance. She got everything. She got the move set. Pat McAfee might have to start saying, He got to say it like Pat McAfee gonna say it. Say it weird. But we might need that. But don't worry, they didn't just cook for the women and gave them opportunity, but the men's side as well. You see, you guys are thinking, oh my gosh, they just took the belt off of Ricky Saint so quick. They did that for a reason. Because now the next baby face that beats Ethan Page is gonna be able to get that North American Championship. Don't be surprised if Javon Evans doesn't get his hands on that title. This guy was just in the main event, Stand and Deliver. Don't be surprised if Miles Bourne gets an opportunity at that championship. Look what he just did against Obafemi, breakout star, gonna get an opportunity. A young looking Randy Orton with a great feel good story about overcoming a disability, becoming a champion. Is that not money? Is that not sales? Is that not great marketing? Jasper Troy, if he not able to get that belt off of Obafemi, he go after the next best thing. Or maybe you go heel versus heel. Maybe Charlie Dempsey shows that he is the one, that he is that guy. Or maybe one of those dark state guys end up picking up the North American Championship. See, now the possibilities are endless, and Ricky Saints can still remain in NXT. He doesn't have to go up because he should not go up before Ethan Page. When Ethan Page loses, he should go up. But Ricky Saints has enough aura, has enough charisma, has enough character. He can have feuds without being the champion. Ricky Saints versus Charlie Dempsey would be fun. Ricky Saints sticking his nose in the family's business, maybe helping out Tony D'Angelo would be very interesting. I would like to see Ricky Saints versus Stacks in a long-term feud. NXT just understands and gets it. Jordan Grace didn't need to win the NXT Women's Championship. She was just the TNA Women's Champion. Now she can go to the main roster on SmackDown and she can eventually win. If they were smart, I would have her beat Zelina Vega. I'm sorry, Zelina Vega. You know I would never do this to you on purpose, but I gotta do what's best for business and put my heart to the side. have her squash Zelina Vega and just come off as a heel on the main roster. She don't got to be a baby face. She don't even got the build to be a baby face, in my opinion. Jordynne Grace come on the main roster, be a heel, squash Zelina Vega, and be dominant in the Women's United States Championship scene. And if they don't want to put the main belt on Jade Cargill, I would love to see a Jade Cargill versus Jordynne Grace clash of the Titans. It's the tale as old as time. Or returning Bianca Belair clash with Jordynne Grace, help Jordynne Grace get over. Because Bianca Belair will get her women's championship eventually, but helping someone get over on the path to that would be a rewarding experience. Have a Jordynne Grace and Naomi compete in tag team matches. You know, both heels, both have history in TNA. Y'all don't see the vision. Do y'all see NXT just solved a lot of problems? Now Stephanie Vaquer, Io Sky will have opposition on on Raw besides Rhea Ripley. Stephanie Vaquer versus Io Sky for the women's championship. Roxanne Perez cashes in if she wins Money in the Bank. Do you not see the possibilities? Am I cooking? Am I cooking? Let me know. Let me know. I could be tripping. Am I cooking? I'm thinking about all this right now. I don't got no notes now. All I'm saying is, I think you guys really need to sit and think about this. You guys are too hung up on the results. Like, we like to live in the moment, we like to do, but think about the possibilities. The possibilities are endless. Man, bro, they got to get NXT some type of award or something. Like, let them win a daytime Emmy for best television. They just literally helped solve issues for the main roster and solve their own issues at the same time, bro. And they're helping TNA get over. No, they're not. Their relationship is one-sided. Trick Williams being the TNA champion will put more eyes on TNA because when Trick Williams goes over there, people are going to watch him unless they just help him drop the belt immediately. If they don't do that, people will follow in the TNA championship, whether it's on NXT or TNA. More viewers, more tweets, more likes. NXT is genius. That's all I can really say. It's genius. You can't say otherwise, in my opinion. But let me know what you guys think, though. I want to know your thoughts and opinion down below. Don't want to yap too long. Don't want to keep y'all too long. I want y'all to watch this whole video. But like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for the love, support as always. Support the product. Patreon is up. Patreon is active, and uploads will begin May 30th. So you ready for the exclusives? Make sure you join the membership, and I lowered the price of every tier for the memberships. So let's get it. Let's go.